Two men on a mission down the rabbit hole of the thoughts that keep you awake at 3 a.m. Welcome to Dose of Dysfunction.
Welcome to another episode of Dose of Dysfunction. I'm your self-proclaimed life coach, and with me tonight is our resident redneck.
Howdy.
Brock, I have a question for you.
Okay, shoot.
If you could be invisible,
Oh, God. Okay.
what would you do?
Oh, dude, that's so.
And I'm gonna throw.
I'm not really the run through the locker room type of guy. Like, oh, if I was invisible, I'd run through the girls' locker room.
Well, no, you can go to the strip club for that.
Yeah, and porn's free, so
Right.
I don't know. I would probably more or less I would fuck with teachers, and probably the worst one is I'd fuck with the police, just cause just cause whatever, you could walk by and be like, ooh, a donut, move it, make them freaky, or whatever. Just fuck with people in general. I might stop a bank robbery or something if I could. I don't know if I I've never been around one of those situations, so I don't know, but it'd be kind of cool if they were like, stick them up, and you just walked over and turned the safety on their gun. He's like, what the fuck? Safety's always off. No, not right now, fucker. Or hit one in the head with a mace.
What I always wonder about with invisibility, though, that idea is, now I'm going to be the boring one. I'm going to go into the logistics, right? Because you're invisible, but that means your clothing is not invisible.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So
you got to be naked.
You're running around naked. Not only that, think of that, though. You go in to stop the robbery, right? What if you're in the crossfire and nobody can see you?
Oh, yeah, now you're left dead. They're like, why is there more blood flowing out on the floor right here?
Right,
I mean,
why?
there's no...
What was that? A magical red splatter in the middle?
My best, the best thing I can think of with this, though, is you have to be able to see yourself, right? I mean, there has to be some... I mean, obviously, by feel, you could reach up and touch your face and realize you're still there, whatever. But I'm thinking you're invisible and you got to pee. Can you not see your willy?
That's a great
question.
Because
that would be... Or, you're trying to line it up so you can just teabag somebody perfectly and you can't see where your balls are going to land. And so, you go to teabag them, and next thing you know, you just, drop them in their mouth and they bite down. What in the fuck? That's where I run into the issue with being invisible. If you can't see your own willy, I mean, how do you know you're going to trip over it?
That's true. I look at it this way, though. You're invisible. Is that I can't be seen, or they can see through you? Because then you would still block, right? You wouldn't be...
Oh, yeah. Well, it would have to be transparent. You would have to be completely transparent to be invisible.
Or is it more like a reflection of whatever their surroundings? You blend,
Oh, you blend into shit?
You're more like a mirror or something like that. But I always think about it. Who would you go stock or something? Or maybe you could change the logistics up. We'll go pie in the sky a little bit. I think what would be cool if you had the invisibility was... Because I hate the losing the clothes things. Even if I'm invisible, I don't want to run around naked. It's just not my style, right?
It's too hot out here.
But I think of it in terms of, okay, so if you're invisible, when you're in that state, anything you touch is also invisible. So think about that. You're running at something and you grab a door and the door disappears. That would almost be the ultimate way to fuck
that
with
would be
people,
legit.
Right?
Their door just... What the fuck is that?
You slam your hand on a counter, right? The whole counter disappears. I mean...
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that would be borderline magic, the whole Harry Potter and he had the cloak thing that made him invisible or whatever. But anything he put on the inside of the cloak or anything the cloak would cover was invisible, right?
Right.
So,
see, I think I'd want that. I'd want the invisibility cloak.
Well, that's my thing is, can you shut it off? Do you just, you're invisible, but when you get home, you can just turn it back on so you can continue on with the rest of your day, or or like you need to, I don't know, you need to jump into a bus real fast or whatever, so you like throw a suitcase of your clothes in there, and everybody's like, what the fuck is this random suitcase in here? And then all of a sudden you're in the bus, like you
What
just
if the
jump in
buttons
and,
just way up your ass?
oh, that would suck. I mean, well, could you imagine your other partner, like your partner, having that, and you're just sitting there bouncing off the button?
You're here, you're not here. You're here, you're not here. You're
Yeah.
here, you're not here. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
that'd be pretty funny.
yeah, it'd be pretty epic. I think on the downside, though, I wouldn't want to be invisible because. So your temptation of that, I think the bigger temptation of that is, yeah, you'd have the stalkerish things because you would stalk somebody. I don't care who you are. If you got to turn invisible for a little while, you would stalk somebody.
Yeah.
You'd want to know either what they were saying or stuff like that, but I think that would ultimately create you to be so paranoid if you had that, because you would bait situations, then go invisible to hear the conversation. And see, for me, that's it. I want to like it's the fly on the wall, right? So if you have the invisibility, it'd be like you'd start shit, go invisible just to hear the conversation of what you just did,
Right.
And then that brings in the paranoia, because then if somebody you thought differently of you starts talking shit about you, you'd be like, motherfucker, you'd trust nobody at that point.
Oh yeah.
Even though you brought it upon yourself.
Right. Well, and I don't know, when it comes down to the whole like being paranoid about it thing, I think the biggest deal is you just got to mentally keep yourself from doing shit like that. But again, it's like the whole, trust issues in relationships and stuff like that. You either have the trust or you don't, right? So I mean, it's something you would have to not want to ruin for yourself. I mean, because you would have to be like, well, I got to trust this person because do I really want to go through this? Or, I really want to figure out whether or not she's sleeping with, the guy who lives in trailer 28, so then you call in sick to work and you go invisible and you chase her around for the day,
Right.
But to me, that's the part that would get you worse than anything is the whole wanting to see what somebody else does with their life. Because I can tell you right now, if I went invisible and I had to follow my wife around, I would be fucking driven nuts, because I have walked around behind her when she knew I was there and she does some things and I'm just like,
what are you
No,
doing?
that doesn't fucking go that way. No, dude, no, what are you doing? Yeah, and I'm having this like screaming match in my head where my other four voices are just like, what the fuck did she do? Red alarm, like they're hitting buttons and shit,
Wow.
So it would kill me.
Let's be honest though, what celebrity would you stalk? You'd have to do it at least one time.
I don't know if I'd stalk any of them, but I might get my way into like backstage.
I think it would be fun to follow like a big time. See, I'm gonna go sideways here on you. Male actor home. Could you imagine following like a Jim Carrey or a Brad Pitt, or pick somebody, right?
Yeah.
But then the thing, because you also have to remember, you're just invisible. You can still talk. You can still be heard. You can be, right? This would be totally ghosting one of those guys.
Dude, Bill Murray would so be down with that.
Right? You'd be like, they're looking at themselves in front of the mirror. You start laughing,
Oh, yeah.
Just shit like that.
They walk past like one of their movie props in their house or whatever that they had, like their first movie, right? Like, I don't know, whatever. It's just like the Bill Murray's always hit with the Ghostbusters, right? So like you just move the Ghostbusters shit that he has or whatever, right? Like you just fuck with him, like move it 6 inches every day or some shit, and see how long it takes him to realize. Or like, who was, I can't remember who did fuck the invisible guy. I can't remember. I think it's Watchmen. or
Oh,
something
there's
like that,
one in
you
the
know?
Watchmen. Yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
remember who the actor. Actually, the one, you know what I think would be awesome to do? Morgan Freeman, and then start narrating his life with a Morgan Freeman impression voice.
Oh my god, that would be fucking hilarious.
Right? What kind of nervous breakdown do you think he'd have at that point?
Nah, I think he'd roll with it. Like, I think he'd just keep it as his voice in the background there. Like,
Now that leads me to another question: Is do you think Morgan Freeman walks around like his home and starts narrating his
narrates
shit?
his shit. And then he walked to the refrigerator and got it. Like, just I wish I could do a Morgan Freeman,
Oh,
man. I would be all over that shit.
So do I. Morgan's going to the porch for a long
For a long bask in the sun to read the newspaper and watch the morning kids go to school.
It was a balmy day.
I don't know. I think it would almost be funner to go chase the ones that like are always in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Robert Downey Jr.
is he the one in trouble right now?
I mean, I don't know if he's in trouble now, but he normally finds his way to get in trouble for
Yeah,
something.
well, and then like the fuck, what was his name? I think it's Danny Matthews or something like that.
Oh, Danny Masterson?
Masterson, yeah.
Nah, he's just a dipshit.
Yeah, but I mean, could you imagine following him around for a couple days? I mean, now you'd be, following him around in prison, I think. But
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'd feel like the need that I had to record the shit he did because it might
might incriminate you later.
Yeah.
Or like,
Invisible Man is
yeah,
partner to Danny Masterson's rape
right.
crimes.
But like, I don't know. You could have followed like I don't know what, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and you could have followed Miley Cyrus around and had a fucking blast. She was doing all kinds of fucking crazy shit.
Oh,
or like in the Britney Spears era, you could have followed her around.
I mean, dude, she's so damaged that now she'd be fun to follow around now because she's still doing crazy shit.
Oh, could you imagine fucking? And this is gonna go way deep into my redneck shit, but getting the chance to follow around Macho Man Randy Savage. And he was a paranoid motherfucker too, but I mean, you do enough of the right drugs and that'll make you that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, just walking around, or him or Hulk Hogan, like when they were a big tag team together and shit, and they were like, super tight. And, we're going to the moon, brother, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna kick some ass, and you could just like do that shit behind them, and they'd be like, what the fuck was that? Like, somebody just threw him off.
Yeah, see, I couldn't follow Hulk Hogan after he had his own show. Like
Well, it was like following him.
Well, it was, but his like, I don't know how it is now, but his relationship with his daughter, or how he was,
I know, it's super weird.
It was creepy. Like,
yeah,
see, that's the only reason I wouldn't want to follow these people around. Is it's what do they say?
Figure out the weird shit that they do. You're just like, I
have
now lost the respect for you that I once had.
You never want to know your heroes. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you will start to see that they are not so heroic.
Right.
This look we want, and that, not to go off on a totally sidetracked one, but that I think that is realizing the loss of heroes, because there's everybody's so accessible. I think that is what, to me, in a way, has created cancel culture, is we've lost our heroes because we can dive into it so much, and so it's so depriving to people, like, to not have like that hero that look up. You find that now you expect the worst out of everybody, so the minute you find it, you're just like, I'm gonna tear this person down before they can ever,
Well, and I think it's the constant what do they call it, the sheep that cried wolf on that whole thing.
You mean the boy that cried wolf?
Or whatever, I don't know. I didn't listen much when we were in learning class.
Typically, if the sheep is crying, he's being eaten by the wolf.
Yeah, well, fucker should have been quicker. But
Little Bo Peep let him down.
yeah, no shit. But I think between, people who are just faking their bullshit, I think that's a lot of it, because then you have very little validity in humanity. I mean, you can always be like, oh, this one guy was saying that he got beat up or whatever, and then there's like four other guys who are like, yeah, by himself, like, but he's claiming that he got beat up and blah blah blah, and so then they have to do an investigation and all this other shit, and it's like, why waste our fucking time and money with that? Like, it's stupid, But I think that's created a lot of your cancel culture too. Is there's just no validity behind anybody's statement anymore.
Right.
But I have a question for you on the being invisible thing. If you could pick a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, see, this is totally where I was going with invisible.
Was it?
Now, we're going superhero style, right? We're gonna get into the which ones would be good, which ones would be bad. Like, so I ruled out invisible, because invisible is like, we like the idea, right? Everybody likes the idea. Man, if I could be invisible, if I could do this. But
yeah,
you start working out the logistics of invisible, and you're like,
well, and everybody says that too. They always say like, God, if I could be a fly on the wall in there, if I could hear that conversation or whatever, right? And that's where the invisibility thing, I think, really takes a turn for the worst.
I agree with that totally, and that's why I think it ruins it. I mean, it does, because that's why I don't like that one, because I'm like, oh man, that'd ruin so many things. That'd be the one you'd get, and you'd be like, well, shit, this is no fun. It takes the fun out of things, right? But so I'm thinking, people want to fly or this or that. I think if it's me, I want like the Flash. I want the super speed. That's
okay.
I think that one would be better.
So right? You're off the softball team for next year.
Bunt. Just bunt.
He bunted it, and then he was standing on home again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could tone it back. I mean, that's the beauty of it. You just turn it on when you need an extra step or two.
Right.
Something like that. But no, getting places fast, being able to move that quick, I think the super speed would be even better. It'd be like,
I think that would just make traffic that much worse.
No, because I wouldn't drive anywhere.
Yeah, but what if you're going someplace with the kids and the wife? You're not going to be able to make your car go fast. I mean, you could put a pedal on the floor, but I mean, you're going to be sitting in traffic like, I could have been there 4 years ago.
No, but that's what you call vacation, right? That's
Jesus.
Your vacation is now sitting in traffic. No, I don't.
You poor bastard.
Right?
You can run like the speed of light, but you're driving a Honda.
I just think it's more one that you could. To me, the super speed's more one you could make functional in everyday life.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
How often do you scuff your feet?
What do you mean scuff my feet?
So if you're hauling ass, speed of light, and you trip, what happens? You're about to get sent through a whole handful of fucking buildings and shit on your ass or your face, depending on how you're doing it.
That's true.
Could you imagine the fucking wreck? What was he doing? He was running through the desert, tripped on a rabbit hole. Next thing we knew, he was laying at the fucking airport on a fucking runway.
That's true. Well, I did have this thought too of the super speed, right? When you're traveling fast in a car, right? You pick up all the bugs.
Oh yeah.
So I was thinking of it that you'd have to have a wet nap all the time to wipe the fucking bugs off your face from running around.
You need goggles with little windshield wipers on them.
I mean,
in a helmet.
Well, and think about that off chance, because you're going so fast. At that point, you can't react to the subtle movements, right? The wrong place or right place, wrong time, wrong place.
Or what you thought wasn't there, and then all of a sudden it's there, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Well, right, because how are you processing so far ahead, right? If it's not like a straight shot or anything like that.
Right.
So I think of it in terms of small areas, though. Think about it. I think about it like this. Think if you worked in a warehouse, right? You had the overnight job and you were stocking shelves.
Uh-huh.
You'd have all your shit done in like 20 minutes, and it'd be like, I can do whatever the fuck I want for the rest of the day.
Right.
And nobody could ever be like, man, lazy bastard never gets anything done, right?
He never looks like he's doing shit, but all of his stuff is done.
Right. Yeah, I think that would be great.
I think you would definitely have to dial it back, though, like play it out a little bit. Like, oh, fuck, I gotta move this lawnmower to the front of the store. Oh, who's not looking around? It's there, right? But then you have to take like 4 pounds of sugar to aisle 6 or whatever, right? So you just kind of walk those to aisle 6. And, like that. You don't have that. You just turn it on and boom, it's done.
No, you know what job you wind up having? You clean office buildings at night.
Oh, squeegeeing windows. That would be a good one.
Right, because nobody's paying attention to you. It's overnight, and it's normally only one person on the crew, right?
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
You'd have all your offices cleaned in like an hour, and then you just leave.
You're just sitting there playing Candy Crush.
Yeah.
At somebody's desk. Or the guy who you don't like because he's a douchebag to you or looking up porn on his computer.
Right. You just have the rest of the night to fuck around and do whatever you wanted. Then you could fuck with the security guard. See, it'd be great. Night job in like a really big office building, but they're like, I don't know how he does it, but he gets it clean every night.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, you're done in an hour and you're just fucking with the night guard. He's sitting at his little watch station and
you
swear it's
run
haunted.
through the hallway and just move his cameras.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Camera 5 again?
There's ghosts. There's ghosts. This place is haunted.
You'd go through night security guards like a motherfucker.
Oh, it'd be so awesome.
You could dress up like little mannequins and shit and then like place them in front of the cameras without him knowing you even like.
Right, because you're that fast.
Yeah, because you're within the screenshots on the frames of the camera, right? So you just run by and all of a sudden there's this creepy little person standing there in the hallway.
Oh, yeah. You could toy with them in the deal. You could put one in the like doorway.
Yeah.
And knock on it, he turns around and it's there, then it's not. Oh yeah.
I think the only thing that would be an issue with that is even like flash, right?
Right.
The air. The air is what fucks you.
Right.
Because you run by and all the papers and shit go flying. So like you're cleaning up your office building, right? And you go hauling ass past somebody's desk that you didn't realize they left a whole fucking stack of work order forms open or whatever. You go flying by there and on your way back you're like, why the fuck is there 4 billion papers on the floor right there?
Your wife would always be like, why is it always windy?
Yeah, right.
Well, see, I always like super speed, but most everybody's always like, oh, I'd want to fly. I
think that would be cool, but it's not. I mean, can you imagine the pressure change problem?
Oh yeah, it'd fuck you up.
I mean, it'd be cool if you were changing like 30 feet.
Yeah.
Like, cool, whatever. I jumped over that car, like no problem or whatever.
Right.
But about the time you hit 35,000 feet, you're up there and the pressure is extremely unrealistic and you're just like mushed into this ball of fucking human.
But then I have the question too of fly. Do you have to have wings? And if you don't, what propels you?
I don't know. I mean, Superman flew and he had a cape.
Yeah, but he didn't even need the cape to fly.
I'm going to guess that he didn't take Beano. That would be my guess. He just shits his pants everywhere he goes. It's just a constant as he goes by.
A whole new meaning to chemtrail.
No shit.
So you get those, but now we can go even X-Men style. You get the different ones.
Oh, and they got some cool shit.
The Magneto guy, that would be pretty cool. I gotta admit, that would be pretty badass that you could fuck with the magnetism of stuff.
Yeah, that would be badass. All of a sudden you just crush a car or whatever like that. That would be pretty cool. I don't know that I want big ass nails growing out of my hands.
No, but
Wolverine, that would be
altered. I read a deal.
Plus his fucking lamb chops are a little out there.
Well, you don't have to look like that.
If you went like this and you're fucking and these things come shooting out of your hands and you don't have the lamb chops, are you shitting me? You gotta have the lamb chops and the weird fucking like spiky out haircut and shit. Like you have to look the part.
This is true. The one I think though,
And you never need a costume if you played at like Disneyland or something.
oh right.
Could you imagine Comic-Con? You just show up, you have patent powers.
Well, and see, maybe that's what you just get hooked up with advertisers. You can just do Comic-Cons. Any one of these, you just go do fucking Comic-Cons.
Right.
I mean, because you could go with like super strength, right? But
That'd
gonna
be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna land you in trouble.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of trouble.
I don't know where, but yeah. I mean,
Well, no, because it's the first time when you don't realize that somebody pisses you off, or you get in a bar fight or something like that.
oh, you're not catching your steps? Like, this is making me mad. This is pissing me off. Now I'm fucking livid. Like, you're not catching your steps, so you're not toning back your...
Right. It's the one time somebody gets
Yeah.
you just right, and you lose your shit.
And you turn and deck him, and his head flies off and
Right.
splatters on the wall.
You put your fist literally through their skull, you know.
I don't know.
But you know what? It'd bring a whole new meaning to nut tap, right? You'd literally pop nuts when you nut tap somebody.
I don't play that game anymore. Why? Because I gave a guy, enough of a nut tap. He had to have surgery. Like,
right?
Nah, that would suck.
Playing a game of whack fuck here.
Oh my god. That would be like the ultimate one too.
Right.
You'd say fuck for a long time after that whack.
No doubt.
Do you go... There's so many... Like, I think controlling fire would be a cool one. Because anytime that somebody was like, oh my god, my house is on fire, you'd be like, okay. Whew, and put it out. Or you could be like, you're a douche. Your car's on fire.
Well, here's the problem to me with controlling fire. Again, it goes with the other ones. I think it's a little too much power. At what point do you tone yourself back? Because I think with any of these, it creates God complex.
Oh shit, he sneezed and now the forest is on fire.
Could you? Yeah, well, right. Trying to figure out, oh shit, I have these. How do I control this shit?
I farted and literally burned the house down.
Right. You're like, you'd be so twisted and fucked up. And not only that, though, you would have the paranoia that they create in these movies of like, anybody figured out you could do this, you're getting turned into the government.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big reward.
They will figure out how to contain you.
Right. Somebody's going to figure out how to do it. And again, even if not, I think at that point, like you said, it creates a God complex. Then they're just like, well, fuck it, we'll kill him. Like,
fuck it.
If we have to, we're nuking this bitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I think at that point, and I don't know, it would be, ideally, you would want to be like John Hancock. Like, you could just do all of them. You know what I mean? Like, he does all, it's like Superman can do most all of this shit. So it's like, do you run into the, well, yeah, but, because that's your like, well, which superhero would you be? Well, I would, that's, everybody wants to be Superman or whoever just because they,
No, Brock, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman right now. I got enough guns and shit. I can throw a stick.
I think that's the beauty of Batman, though, as a superhero, is because Batman has the cool toys.
Batman has gotten a lot of people killed. All right? There's a legit ring of fucking superheroes in New York. I wouldn't call them superheroes, but they help and they do whatever, They
don't help. They get in the way.
They normally aren't at like crime scenes and shit. Normally they're helping old people cross the road or they're a second person to make somebody feel safe walking home. That's great. I think that's an awesome deal.
Well, I like that.
But they're going to die if somebody really wants to. You think about it. They're armed with nothing more than their hands and some stupid fucking costume that grandma sewed up before he came out of the basement from playing fucking video games all day.
I think that makes you a target at that point.
Right. That like you're now the walking icon, Hey, I
there's-
mugged fucking Silverface Boy, you know?
I think there's only one way to do that without a costume, but to be totally legit scary, you have to suit it up. It's got to be the black suit, black tie, black sunglasses, and you walk Granny
The
across
Men
the
in
street.
Black shit.
Well, yeah, because at that level they're going, "Fuck, that's a government employee. I can't fuck with them."
You're
right?
right.
You know
Yeah.
not the look at the boy who thinks he can play superhero. This is gonna be fun. You're not
Right.
inviting that on.
Right.
You're presenting the air of like, oh man, that dude's legit. Whether they are or not, there's enough there to make you question the legitimacy than
Right.
looking at dipshit running around in tights with a cape on going, oh, this is gonna be funny.
Right. Well, it's like that other movie. What is that? I don't. Fuck. The one where the kid it's this league of fucking superheroes that have zero superhero powers.
Oh,
Kick ass or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a minute, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah, I mean, I get wanting to be the superhero.
Oh yeah, that would be the shit.
But again, I'm gonna tell you why Batman's the best superhero. He has the cool toys, and he's just a normal dude.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of money, but I mean, you know.
He's got cool toys.
Yeah, see, I've got your standard fucking toys that anybody can buy at a Cabela's or a Sportsman's or wherever in the fuck. And on top of how do you conceal half of those things? I don't have a fancy car that shit just clips into the fucking door panels and into the roof, and I can't hit a button and 50 cals blow out my headlights and start shooting people.
No, that's the shit that gets the redneck arrested is because he's got the gun rack behind his head.
Right. Yeah, I never fucking. I got pulled over, and so I got pulled over twice. Okay, one in 1 week, both of which was because my truck was showing too much tire and I didn't have mud flaps. Right. In one of these scenarios, I have a shotgun on the back window, right? And we're going dove hunting. It's early in the morning and I haven't had coffee yet. So when the cop got there, he was got to the window and it did have a sticker on the door that said, "I know, license and registration."
You got what you deserve.
I was aiming for that one.
Yeah.
But I reached up on the dash and I already had it in my hand. I knew what he was going to harass me about because I just put the tires and shit under the truck. So I knew it was going to happen. And he walks up and he's like that new cop who's just like super afraid he's going to get the mafia boss the first,
Oh, Jesus.
He's like super scared and walking up to the truck and he did the whole touch your tail light thing. And then he's got his hand on his gun as he walks up. And I'm like,
in Idaho of all places.
yeah. And I'm like, dude, I'm just going hunting. Like, I don't want to fucking shoot you. I want to go shoot some birds. Like, quit. Just get the fuck up here. I want to get done with this.
Yeah.
He goes, "You know why I pulled you over?" I said, "No, but here's my license and registration. I'm sure you can tell me what you know." And he goes, "You don't want to take a guess?" "No, I really don't want to incriminate myself."
Right.
For something you didn't realize until you got here. And he's like, "Well, I pulled you over for your mud flaps. Do you have any weapons in the truck?" Yeah. And my buddy sitting next to me like, is he for real? They're in the back glass. It's a regular cab pickup. You can fucking see them. They weren't hidden at all. And he's like, "Well, what do you have?" I was like, "Oh, fuck, here we go." Because we went hunting. I don't clean my fucking truck out. I have an under the seat handgun. It's there. It goes everywhere the truck goes. Like,
Right.
it is what it is. I have a truck gun. Okay? And I'm like, well, and at this point in time, we were duck hunting, so I also got the deer rifle in the truck too. It's behind the seat. I'm like, well, I got about 3 long guns and probably 2 or 3 little handers. And he was like, "I'm going to need you to get out of the vehicle." And I'm like, what for? And he's, "Well, that's too many weapons to have in the truck for me to walk back to my car and, not have an eye on you two guys. So I'm going to need both of you to get out of the truck." So we both get out of the truck. We're standing there and we both got our hands on the bed. It's freezing balls cold. I haven't had coffee. It sucked. I get my no mud flaps ticket or whatever, and fucking Greenhorn Billy gets back in his car and takes off. And I'm like, all right, no big deal. We jump in and away we went. 3 days later, I get pulled over by a veteran cop. Walks up to the truck. I hand him my license and registration. He's like, you know why I pulled you over? No. Why? He's like, well, you ain't got no mud flaps on your truck. I was like, okay. So just so you know, because I've been through this, I was like, just so you know, there's guns in the truck. He goes, this is Idaho. I expect everybody to have a weapon in their truck. And he turned around, walked back to the cop car, and I'm like, holy shit.
That's what I said. This is Idaho. This isn't like, you're not in the ghetto. You're not in.
Right? I'm going to pull an Uzi out of my glove box loaded with fucking duck shells and fucking blast you on your way back. No.
Yeah. It's, I mean,
Could you imagine, though, if fucking Batman was a redneck? Could you fucking imagine the shit? It'd be perfect. You know that whole like low car he has in all the movies and shit? How do you go off-roading after the Joker if he decides to take a back road somewhere? Not in that car. It ain't happening. Do it in a pickup.
Yeah, but Batman's in a city. Redneck Batman would have like the off-road vehicle, and you saw like some of the last Batmans, right?
Oh yeah, the fucking badass car.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's evolved. He's got that covered. He's got something in the garage just for that occasion.
I think that would be like you wanna make a movie right there. Redneck Batman lives in trailer number 2 or something, you know, like just lives in a trailer park. He's kind of white trashy, you know.
I'm thinking Redneck Batman would be called like Rooster Man.
Rooster Man, yeah. They put a big cock in the sky to get it.
I am the cock of the walk.
I don't just walk the walk, I cock the cock.
I think that's your redneck Batman right there. We can do that. Make film Rooster Man.
Rooster Man. That's
And no, it's not put the rooster in the sky. It's the cock-a-doodle-doo, right? You know, it's the rooster crow. That's how you call him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty funny too, because then you got somebody trying to mug somebody in fucking, you know, little rural town, and they're like, cock-a-doodle-doo! And then here comes this fucking beat up 1970s Chevy pickup.
All jacked up.
13 different colors. Big old fucking military tank, like gun on the top and shit. Big old 50 cal up there. And, yeah, oh yeah. That would be the shit.
So his sidekick, you know, Batman had Robin. Rooster Man has Chicken Little.
I think you'd have to go even further though. I think it'd have to be like Chicken Little Dick.
Oh yeah, something like that. He's running the gunnery, so it's like this 4'10" dude that's all like
with a mohawk.
Yeah, with
the like Rob Zombie goggles, you know, the like chrome ones that just encase your eyes and then kind of go back on the side a little bit.
Yeah, no.
It would definitely look Mad Max if there was a redneck Batman.
I'm just thinking now of Chicken Little, and he's screaming the whole time the sky is falling as he's just like unloading shells off the back of his. Yeah, redneck Batman is Mad Max. I guess that's where you're at.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, and then you know, the first thing I get to the Rooster Man, right, and you're like, you want to catch these finger steaks? You want to catch these chicken strips?
Oh my god, the marketing though, the marketing
oh
of this.
My god.
Brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Eat more beef.
Eat more beef.
It could be a good one for Arby's though. We got the meats, right?
The meat sweats.
Got the runs, more like it. But
well, that's the thing, Rooster Man. He's gonna get out, and he's not gonna have like the 6-pack armored ab thing. No, you know, he's gonna have a beer belly,
and a wife beater, blue jeans with a hole in them. You know, big old fucking dip in his face, smoking Marlboros, 30 rack of Coors in the cooler on the seat next to him because fucking Chicken Little's got to ride in the back. Little AC, window AC thing stuck in the side window.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Redneck Batman would be a fucking blast.
Yeah. He'd be the shit.
Uh-huh.
So, well, if you have these superpowers, if you're one of these, do you use them for good or do you use them for evil? Or what do you use them for?
I feel like you have to have a small amount of both. Like, you kind of have to be on each side. You know, like, obviously you would want to be, for your moral standpoints and all that shit, you would want to be on the good side, right? No, you saved the cat out of the tree or whatever. But then there's the little bit of evil that you're like, yeah, I just ran past her so fast that her skirt went up and everybody around here found out she wasn't wearing underwear. You know, and that's like the evil, like, I couldn't go fucking super evil, mainly because I'm too visible. Like, everybody sees me and they're like, look at this weirdo, let's go talk to him. And everybody, you know, so I'm over there divulging my plan on how I'm going to steal the moon or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's why the bad guy always loses. Is because
Right.
I don't think you go full tilt evil, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't go full tilt superhero. I wouldn't even go partial tilt superhero. This would totally be my own enjoyment at this point.
Yeah.
If I had the ability to control fire, I would like set people's shoes on fire. Just little sparks, but just enough like give them hot foot or, you know, it would be totally, you know.
Burn their sock.
You know, you walking through the grocery store, the shitty little kid gives you a dirty look and like, you know, you're able to shock them or something like that. Or no, you know,
electrocuted 3-year-old. Oh, look at your hair now, buddy.
You're gonna learn to look at strangers in a whole new light.
I don't know, because I mean, then you have like, there's always that dark side where your mind continues to take you deeper and deeper. The worst thing that has ever been invented, and they can say technology, but it's the human fucking brain.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't think as like the legitimacy of those powers. I think as a person, we don't have the capacity to ever control them. It would take you to the darkest level possible.
Oh yeah,
because again, it'd create that God complex, and you, whether you meant to be evil or not, you would get there because there would be that part. Everybody has kind of a level of they want control, right? Now you have the way to get control. Like
well, that's all the super villains. You know, that they have that ability, and that's what their goal is take over the whole world. My goal is just to make my bank account a little bigger and the beer fridge double.
Well, see, I can tell you how you get there. You see, the best superpower, I figured it out. The best one, she was in X-Men, the one that could shapeshift and turn into
Storm.
No, I think it's not Storm. Storm actually summoned.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You're talking about the blue chick. Yeah.
Dude, that's the one that's the shit, though. Think about this.
Now, you could change into any person you wanted to be.
Right. So we go to the bar. We're chicks at the bar. We're getting free drinks all night long.
Go into the bathroom and come out a man. And like, whoa, where the fuck is Susie Q?
Yeah. I don't think you want to take me home, big boy.
Yeah. See, and then that's the problem. Because now my brain's already jumped to the next step, right? We get in the car, and I'm going to start changing facial features. Like, I'm going to be like, okay, so I was a brunette when I climbed in this bitch. But I'm going to be a blonde by the time we get home. Like, it's going to change. And I'm going to want to know why the fuck you didn't notice I was blonde, right? Because you're going to start getting into that. Then you're going to he's going to be like, oh, the bedroom's in here, right? Whatever. And you go in there. And next thing you know, like, I don't know, fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger turns the corner and he's like, what the fuck? And you're just standing there like all ready to go, all, fired up. That would be, see, and then it's like, or you just change into like one of his buddies, right? And just like he thinks he's at home alone with this chick, and he comes out, and you're just sitting there playing video games on his TV. He's like, bro, what are you doing here? Get out of here. I got a girl over. Like, get the fuck out. And you'd be like, no, fuck you. I'm breaking levels right now. Like, fuck.
Well, right, but I think of it more in the little tweaks. You could have fun. You could get into any event you wanted because you'd look like staff. All you'd have to do is look at one staff person, right? You shift into
Boom.
looking like them. You walk in, and now you're in doing whatever you want to
Only
do.
problem is if you fuck that up and you pick the manager. And everybody's walking up asking you questions and shit, and you're like,
No, I
fucking.
just say to get you through the door. I would switch into average Joe, whatever at that point. But going along the way you were going with the guy, how fun would it be at cash registers? Is they're checking you out to change slight things the whole time?
Yeah.
So the cashier keeps looking up at you like, wait, what? What? No, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Did his nose change?
I swear to God, he had all his teeth a second ago.
Wait a second, the facial hair, it's all different now. We went from
Could you imagine though if it if it changed, but like all of the facial features and shit like peeled off of you?
Oh,
like you didn't just molt like a
It didn't
chameleon into the next
shift
one.
it.
Yeah, it just like all that shit just fell out and hit the floor, and then you were a different person.
Oh.
Better yet, you walk up to the cash register, right? And you got whatever, 4 drinks or whatever the fuck it is. And he's like fucking with the till and you change into him.
Oh, see, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And
Oh my God, are you guys brothers? Catch that shit?
That would be fun to fuck with somebody.
Yeah. That would be pretty good.
Now, that would be the fun when the cops show up.
You're sitting in handcuffs in the fucking police station like, I don't understand why I'm arrested. You're a completely different person than they arrested.
No, I'm thinking the cop's talking to you. You shift into looking just like the cop.
Oh, yeah. See, but the other issue that I find with that is she's naked all the time. Like, that's her skin, right? Well, when she changes into these other people, she gets their clothes, right? That's completely unrealistic. Like, there's
Actually,
no way.
no, that's more realistic because the idea of shape-shifting and that would be the changing of the molecular structure. So you could create it out of whatever. That's what allows her, whatever her skin is, allows that change to be. So you could have the different clothes, you could have the things like that. Now you couldn't.
You just got like super scientifically abusive. Is pretty much what I'm gonna label that up as, because I didn't understand half of that motherfucker right there. Molecular or something or another. I'm not liking anything.
I'm just saying you could change. The reason you can get the clothes and all of that is you change it on a molecular level.
It would be
level.
There's that word again. But I mean, it would be like body paint though. Like that doesn't make. Because again, like you can't walk up and just, I'm you, because all your shit's baggy. So if it's all skin tight on me, I'm going to look like you wearing clothes that's too small.
No.
Because it'll all be like painted on.
No, it's not painted on. That's what I'm saying, that there's a better scientific argument to how that works than the other stuff.
No, that's called meth. There's nothing scientific about that. A little bit of heat and some spoons, and that's called meth.
Shit.
Some Drano.
All right. Well, speaking of meth and Drano, you think I have a segue? I really don't. We're just straight up gonna go to. We're getting late. Let's do a would you rather.
Okay.
We wrap this bad boy.
Sounds
up.
good to me.
And because I want to torture you a little bit. Well, we're about to find where you stand with your siblings.
Oh,
so,
fuck.
If you were stranded on an island with no food, with your dog and your sibling, would you kill your dog to feed the sibling or let the sibling starve? Wow, that's crickets. You actually have to think this one through.
Well, I'm just trying to think how I'm going to loophole it, but yeah, I'd probably kill the dog.
Oh, you actually love your sibling.
Well, I mean, mainly because like we're not far apart from each other. We're pretty close. We live in the same fucking house. If I answer this incorrectly, I may not have a home to live in.
I'm still just going
But
with no, this takes me to earlier, the way you respond to certain things. When it comes to animals, it's, ooh, doggy.
yeah, oh yeah, no,
So-
I will at every stoplight. If there's a dog in a truck, I will turn it and go, puppy, and I will look at the dog like and have a mental connection with this dog that doesn't know me from Adam, right? But
Right.
I'm just like, woo, doggy, and I turn and look like every time. And my wife and I have been in a serious conversation about serious shit that is currently going on with us, and a truck will drive by and I'll be like, oh, doggy, as it goes by, and she's just like, would you fucking pay attention? Yeah, I incredibly love dogs. However, if it comes down to it, I will fucking eat a labradoodle. I don't give a shit. Like, if I gotta survive, you were a good boy, but you bit me last week. Pfft, done.
Wow.
And again, I think a lot of that comes from just the it's an animal. I mean, there's no. I mean, yeah, my dogs and I are pretty close. Not as close as my first dog and I, but I mean, it's still. It's like ultimately you have to kick in and be like, well, I mean, if I had a brother that I'd like super hated or something, I'd be like, yeah, fucking starve, bitch. Go find your own coconuts to eat because I'm keeping my dog.
I was thinking you just go the route of, I'm killing my sibling and feeding the
Feeding
dog.
the dog. No, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it kind of comes down to that whole, it kicks you into that whole different type of fuck. Do I really have? I mean, here's my thing. In these would you rather's, they're super bland, right? So I mean, who's to say we didn't get dropped on fucking island grapefruit? Like
No,
you
it's
could eat and live and all that, but here's your and if it was like
it's an island with no food. Just think of it that
right,
way. You're on a sandbar basically nowhere.
right. That's kind of I mean, you have to put that in there because otherwise it's like no, go find a fucking look, there's salad right over there. Like go eat some grass. You will be fine.
What are these spots that I'm getting now? Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, in that whole thing too, you kill the dog and feed your sibling, and then your sibling gets sick and dies. I mean, what fucking good was killing your dog, right?
Well, right.
So, I mean, it doesn't really matter either which way you pick this scenario. You're kind of up shit creek. But then again, to build any kind of raft to get off of whatever island, you might want a second pair of hands, not a pair of fucking paws and another fucking belly to feed.
This is true. All right, fair enough.
I mean, if the whole getting off the island was somebody had to sniff out cocaine, yeah, I might be like, you're tough shit because dogs are going to sniff out the cocaine. I ain't smelling the shit, like that. But, if the whole thing is, oh, yeah, we got to build a raft to get back to a mainland somewhere. Sorry, Fido. You kind of can't help me build a raft. So I hope you taste good without seasoning.
I hope you loved your dog well enough to fatten them up before you slaughter them for your sibling.
Have you seen my dogs? One of them can't run. He's fat. He's so fat.
I don't know. I've seen a few dogs on TikTok that I'm like, that's just cruel. Like,
oh yeah,
letting them get to that
the
point.
fucker's got diabetes. Right
Diabetes. That fucker looks like he ate.
He has a hemorrhoid problem. Oh fuck, or what? A thyroid problem. No,
Yeah.
He's got an owner doesn't know how to shut the food dish problem.
Yeah, no shit. Well, as much as we love our puppies here, it is probably time to call it a good one and leave off on that note. So thank you all again for listening to Dose of Dysfunction. Follow us on Facebook, Dose of Dysfunction, or our community page, Dose of Dysfunction. You can see us through many apps, Spotify, Apple. Keep following us. We have a YouTube page now.
But to quote a life coach, if they're hearing us, they probably already know where to find us.
You would hope.
Tell all your friends where to listen to our dumb asses at.
I mean, there's days we can't find our way out of a closet, so I'm not going to say all of our listeners are.
Oh,
not to
yeah.
insult them, but they may forget at times too.
Hey, if you can't find your way out of a wet paper bag, you belong here.
Yeah, right? We're gonna be good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, like us, listen to us through YouTube or whatever your favorite channel is. But we appreciate all the support. And good night.